Hey guys, what is going on? My name is Whisper, and today what I have for you is a little bit of a new video, and I think I'm going to start doing this series every week or so, and it's going to be called Let's Talk, and it's going to kind of discuss something that I've seen in the community, whether it be in Counter-Strike, in gaming, or in general, that I've found and that I want to voice my opinion on, so hope you enjoy. And this first one's going to be on Prime Matchmaking, so yeah. Alright, so sometime back in May, the CSGO devs implemented a new thing called Prime Matchmaking. You probably already know this, but just in case you don't, Prime Matchmaking pretty much links your Steam phone number that you used for mobile authentication with your CSGO profile in order to make it so that you will get matched with players who also have Prime Matchmaking, which therefore can help deter smurfing as well as cheating, so that way you don't just buy another account. So Valve enabled people to sign up for this back in, I believe it was like April 20th or April 21st, something like that, and then enabled it in-game late in May. And I didn't really get a chance to play on it until after finals and after school, everything was said and done, so about the beginning of June, I believe. And I would honestly say that it's probably brought me back to Counter-Strike more than anything else. Like, if I were to say there was one reason I was deterred from playing Counter-Strike after playing it for like 3 months straight and like getting decent, I think I was like Nova 3, I would say it was definitely the Smurfs. I ran into so many Smurfs during the month of, I believe it was April, that I think I deranked down to Nova 2 after losing 8 games in a row, 7 of which had Smurfs, accounts that had less than 100 hours, or accounts that only had 2 games, which would be like Counter-Strike and then some random other one like Team Fortress 2, and it really deterred me from playing the game just because it felt like it was always like a 50-50 bet whether I was going to get placed against Smurfs and that I would just lose the game because I wasn't up to par with those people's skill level, or if I was going to get an actual match that I would enjoy playing. So after April, I kind of just fell out of playing Counter-Strike, and recently I just felt a resurgence with Prime Matchmaking just because everything feels so much better. It feels so much better for you to play the game. The matches are a lot closer. It's not either a complete stomp or not a complete stomp. Most of the games I've had have been really close, and I've been performing relatively well just because I'm playing with people on my caliber and I'm improving overall rather than playing with someone who just completely face rolls and stomps me. Like, I hate to jinx myself, but I think the past like 20 games that I played like 20 or 25 games over the past like 2 weeks, just because I felt so much more inclined to play Counter-Strike over anything else like League or Melee, and I've enjoyed it so much more. And I think the amount of games that I've won or tied versus lost is like, I think it's got to be something like 18 to like 7 or something like that, just because I've been improving so much more, I've been focusing so much less, and I've been a lot less salty knowing that I'm not really playing against Smurfs or playing against people who are cheating, something like that. And it just makes me feel so much better when I play the game and makes me improve more because I focus less on those aspects. But now I've talked about everything that I like about Prime Matchmaking, and now I'm going to talk about some things that I don't necessarily dislike, but I don't really like either, and that's because I don't really care for my rank. I kind of just play for fun now. I kind of stopped caring about my rank, but because of that I feel like I've gotten better at the game. But I want to talk about something that I've seen, which is the amount of players that I've been playing with and what ranks they have been. So when I first came back to play Prime Matchmaking, I queued for my first game, got into Mirage, and then lost it like 16-14. And I was playing against a bunch of Silvers, I think it was like Silver Elites and Silver Elite Masters, so I immediately deranked from Gold Nova 2 to Gold Nova 1, which wasn't necessarily a bad thing, but I wondered, that's kind of weird that I'm playing with Silver Elites and Silver Elite Masters, but it might be just because of how long I had been gone. It might be MMR decay, something like that. But it didn't really matter too much to me, but as I continued to play, I started to notice a trend with the players that I was playing against. So as I began to play, how I would generally, before the patch, before Prime Matchmaking, how I would generally decide if I was getting close to ranking up is I would look at the ranks of who I was playing against and see which team had the higher ranks overall to know where I was, or if we were both even, then I knew I sat around where I believed I needed to be. But after this patch, I began to play with Silver Elites and Silver Elite Masters one game, and then the next game I'd play against Nova 2s and Nova 3s, and I'd be really confused. And I don't know what that has to do with. I think it's because less players around the rank, so it would match me with people of all different skill calibers, and because of this, I found it kind of hard to rank up. So I would be playing against Silver Elite Masters, like I said, one game, and I might lose that game, and I wouldn't D-rank, but the very next game I'd go into it in queue and I'd be matched against Nova 2s and Nova 3s for some reason, which didn't really make sense because if the game was displaying it right, I should be playing against Silver Elites and Silver Elite Masters because of the MMR that I have. But it turns out right now there's kind of like a big rank discrepancy when you're playing, and it tries to match you with people who are just within like 2 or 3 ranks of you because it can't like always match you with players of the same MMR as you. So to put that in layman's term, what it would pretty much mean is if you're playing, say, at around a Nova 1 level, instead of matching you with Silver Elite Masters or Nova 1s and Nova 2s, you'd be matched with people from like Silver 3 or Silver 4 or Gold Nova 3 or Gold Nova Masters because of how Prime Matchmaking works and what it has caused. Pretty much Prime Matchmaking has caused a larger amount of the population who are Smurfs to not be matched with you, which causes what I call is like a rank disarray almost. And the reason I would say it's almost like a rank disarray is because you can't get matched with players because there are so many people in the level that you're playing at. Say, for example, I think this is a lot more prevalent in like Silver to Gold Nova, where there's a lot more Smurfs play in that level than something like higher like LE or LEM. And because of this, you'll be matched with less players or a larger variety of players of different skill levels because so many of them were Smurfs, and now you can't get matched with them because you've queued up for Prime Matchmaking. And so really overall I don't have a problem with this necessarily, it's what it causes. What it ends up causing is a large MMR discrepancy between the players that you're playing with, because sometimes you might lose to like a Silver Elite Master, and because you lost to a Silver Elite Master, your MMR tanks a little bit, but then you can play with Nova 2s and Nova 3s and you don't gain near as much MMR back. And the reason I say this is because when I played and I was trying to get back to Nova 2, well, not necessarily trying, I was just playing for fun, it took me, I believe, I played 13 or 14 games, and I won 10 of those, and then the other 3 or 4 I tied, and I think I lost 1 of them. And it took me that many games in order to rank up, and that's kind of ridiculous to me because before the rank change, Prime Matchmaking being queued up, it would take me a lot less time. It'd take me like 6 to 8 wins compared to something like 10 or 11 wins and a couple ties in between in order to rank up. And so, like I said, I haven't been playing so much for rank, but I've been playing more so in order to just like get better at the game and have fun. And so I don't necessarily have a problem with this, but I know some players who do have a problem with this and have had a problem where they could win upwards of, 12 or 13 matches and still not rank up. So overall, I feel like Prime Matchmaking is a good experience because it deters smurfing, but it causes a rank discrepancy as well as an MMR discrepancy, which makes it even harder to rank up even after the rank changes that they had implemented back in, like, I think it was like December or January, I don't remember. So really, I made this video to voice my opinion now that I've had experience playing with Prime Matchmaking and what I think of it. And what I really did come to do was also explain the problems that I see with Prime Matchmaking and what other people see in the flaws of Prime Matchmaking. And like I said, I don't necessarily have a problem with this because, like I said, I don't play for rank currently. I kind of just play for fun and play to get better. But I know some other people who have been having this issue, and I thought I would vocally express it and put it out on YouTube so that if anybody really wanted to know more about it, who is like, say, not into the game really, or doesn't really understand the problems with it, or like the whole idea of it, could get an understanding of what Prime Matchmaking is like and what the problems that it presents for people who are trying to play to get better and to improve their rank. So anyways, I think that about covers what I wanted to say about Prime Matchmaking. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. My name is Whisper, and I'm out. Peace.